Harrier Pride exotic backpack. One of the two exotics you can receive from the anniversary event. And I want to give you guys a brief explanation on the build I chose for this exotic and on my theory on how this talent can function, what's the best attributes for this talent. So to summarize the talent for this exotic, rebalance, getting kills and hitting enemies 3 times builds red stacks. Each stack provides 0.5% weapon damage, along with getting hit 3 times gives you damage, both at a low number, and reaching 80 stacks. In total, you lose all and receive a separate bonus of damage resistance and weapon damage per stack until the next time the stack cap is reached. The talent itself is really simple. There's not really much going on here, but I've noticed in both PvE and PvP there are some differences. On the PvE standpoint, there's not really much to explain. Of course, you got the shield and other skills that gives you damage resistance, but you won't really notice the blue stack as much playing missions, simply because most of the time you're doing the shooting, so the red stack will perform just as well, if not maybe a little bit more than the damage resistance that you will receive. There's not really a difference in this lane. The clips here is really straightforward. There's red stacks are just as much as anything else, probably not getting too much damage resistance at all. As far as dark zone, there are some issues for this backpack. The talent, you don't really benefit much at all, and I'm only saying this because the key here, at least for fighting players, is that you need as much damage resistance as possible. Survivability is pretty much the #1 thing for dark zone. So my theory, or I should say the one flaw with this backpack, is that you're constantly getting shot. So you would need to sustain as much of that as possible. So I would probably recommend using armor regen for this backpack if you want to value as much damage resistance as you can. This clip right here, I was fighting 3 people at once. I was having almost every skill shooting at me, and you can see that that bar was almost maxed out, but I still feel like I wasn't getting much resistance at all, even though there's only a small percentage in total. Ultimately, I would say that you do need regen for this if you want to use this backpack only for the damage resistance. The weapon damage is pretty much optional, even though you're going to use this a lot more. But the build that I chose is really a basic tank. I could have gone with something better, but this is the build that I chose as an example of what would it be like if I had damage. I wanted to pair the two so the backpack can equal to all the other pieces that I do have. I did switch guns for Dark Zone for certain reasons, but overall, this backpack is definitely a 50-50 on my list, mainly because getting shot, if you don't want to use kits every 10 seconds, I would highly recommend the one attribute that will keep you alive. Let me know what you guys think about this backpack, this talent. Let me know if this is something you would use for every single build, or this is something you would try or just to experiment with. Until then, I will see you guys in another video.